What's something you'd never buy even if it was discounted by 99.99%? Tesla truck lol. At a 99% discount, it would be worth buying and take to a street festival and charge people $10 for 3 swings at it with a sledgehammer. Make your money back real fast and provide people with some needed venting. Win-win. Tickets to a Disney park. When I was a little kid, my mom would drop my brothers and I off there in the morning and give my oldest brother $100. That would pay for all of us to get in, get enough ride tickets to last all day, get us enough food to eat, and he'd have change. There are 4 of us. When I was in high school, an annual pass cost less than a single day ticket does now. I will never set foot in any type of Disney park ever again. Timeshare salespeople are the lowest form of salespeople, and that's fucking saying something. My wife and I stayed at one near Disney World in Florida, with the only stipulation being that we had to sit through a presentation. I've never dealt with ruder or more aggressive salespeople in my life. We literally told the woman that we weren't interested in buying up front and that we were about to close on our home and needed to focus on house costs at this time. She said she understood and then followed up with, "But if this whole thing was free, would you take it?" And I said yes, which was a mistake. That was their in. What followed was a parade of managers, each new person getting their supervisor to try and lower the deal for me because I told them I wanted it. One person told me I was stupid for thinking my house would cost money and that it's pretty cheap to own a home. Finally, as I was getting ready to leave, they sent one guy who looked like a bouncer to give me one more opportunity to buy, and when I said no, he slammed his binder on the floor and stormed away. Like, WTF? Any cryptocurrency that is gambling at best and scam at worst to Tesla. No hate for e-cars, but the company is so shady. I hate doing business with them, and Elon is annoying. Anything sold at wish it's mostly trash, and I don't understand why we allow this trash to be shipped to Europe. Gas and electricity is really expensive because of taxes aimed to reduce CO2. But you can buy this shit and it's cheap and basically made to be thrown away. Single-ply toilet paper. Okay, so I know this is not in the spirit of the post, but this is something close to my, well, butt. Cheap toilet paper is a waste of money. You end up using double or more and going through it way quicker than thicker toilet paper, while simultaneously having a much, much worse wiping expense. I have done the experiments. I know. Edit. To the people who seem to have problems flushing toilet paper. What kind of toilets do you have that can't flush toilet paper? Alcohol-free beer. Wow, there's a surprising amount of hate for AF beer in this thread. I'm going to assume this is an American thing, because over here I'm Europe. It's a very different story. We have some fantastic ones. Lucky Saint, Lef, Rat House, Brewdog. And to answer, correct some of you. No, I'm not and have never been an alcoholic. I still enjoy full-fat beer too. AF beer is perfect when what you want is a beer, but you don't want to drink for any number of reasons: health, driving, racing. The alternatives to beer are sweet, soft drinks, tea, coffee, or water. All of those are pretty limited in how many you can enjoy. It comes in pints like beer, so lasts a while and refreshes like beer. Some are isotonic and make a perfect recovery drink after exercise. Generally natural ingredients, good ones made to German purity laws. Think that's it. If you're drinking beer only because it has alcohol in it, you are doing alcoholism all wrong. Beer should taste good. A smartphone. I'm 31. I got my first proper smartphone free with my job about a year ago. I use it exclusively in work, WhatsApp, and internal apps, and on the way to work, reading updates and occasionally manage to squeeze in a YouTube video. But APS art from that, I actively dislike them. I had an iPhone 3 years ago. I had it for a week, hated it, and got rid of it. Used a brick ever since as my personal phone and see no need at all for the rest of it. If I ever leave this job, the phone gets handed back and I'll be back on a brick. As an outsider to the Android-Apple debate, though, I've got to say the Android they gave me works a dream compared to the iPhone 3 I had, and is far more intuitively used by a non-user. The irony of all this is that my own personal side hustle entails fixing smartphones a few times a month. A mouse trap, by which I mean a glue trap, or the standard ones, they are just cruel. Glue traps force the mouse to starve to death, and they often go so far as to gnaw off their limbs to try to escape. The regular ones can and will break bones, which can lead to a similar situation to the glue traps. They are completely inhumane. If you ever have a mouse, even if you plan on killing it once caught, get one that safely traps it, otherwise you are just torturing it to death. Fentanyl edit, street fentanyl, not doctor-administered fentanyl. I had some once after surgery. It is very nice, though. I had a fentanyl button for one very painful surgery, attached to drip, which I could push whenever I wanted more. The next time I had surgery for something minor, the first thing I said when I woke up was, "Do I get a fentanyl button?" I think that probably cemented the decision to not give me fentanyl on that occasion. I had one of those PCA machines at my last surgery with hydromorphone, basically on tap. LOL. That was in addition to two others they also gave me intermittently. Let me tell you, even with a Frankensteinian 2 feet long incision in my abdomen and a litany of innards removed, I felt good lol, was such an easy recovery. I had like 2 days of major pain, and only BC the nurses were very slow to give me the supplemental pain meds a couple times. Thank God for modern medicine, though. I also was on the verge of a panic attack at a chemo session BC. I had had a very bad anaphylactic reaction on the previous infusion. So they asked me if I wanted Ativan. I know like 4 drugs, and that wasn't one, so I asked if it would help the anxiety, and the nurse smiled. Man, when I tell you that every ounce of panic just melted away when that kicked in, LOL. I texted my BF that it hit me like a ton of bricks, but if the bricks were made of cheese. I guess mainlining what's basically extra strong fours and axe will do that, haha. An OnlyFans or porn subscription. IDK, I've had access to a Brazzers account before. Nothing you can't find for free, but it is a ton of quality all in one place. 99.99% off would probably be worth it, just so you didn't have to scroll past poor quality videos. Crocs? They're ugly. I've held that view since I first saw them in Payless as a kid. I'm not going to start wearing them just because they're popular now. They still ugly of. USA Today. I used to spend 50 cents a day on it years ago, and now they're advertising $1 for an entire year. That's 99.23% off. And I still don't want it. I honestly didn't even know it was still being published. Grocery store had black-eyed peas for 1 cent. People just kept on passing them by, and they were still stocked by the end of the day. I do not understand this. They're my favorite canned beans because they're tasty and tender and cute, and I don't notice much a difference in taste or texture from pintos or white beans. During the initial COVID freakouts with people hoarding food to prepare for lockdown, I couldn't believe all the beans were gone except black-eyed peas. This couple near me, the guy was like, "Let's just get these." And his partner, who was freaking out, was like, no! She literally refused to allow him to put any in their quite empty cart. I was, and remain, perplexed about this. Cigarettes. I've bought exactly 1 pack of cigarettes for myself, and I have no regrets at all. The big stadium in the city I used to live in had an outside smoking area that people would go smoke in between opening acts and the headliners when they had concerts. I bought a pack of cigarettes, would sit in my car until I saw people congregating outside to smoke, would go stand with them with a cigarette in my hand, and then head back in with everyone else as the show started because nobody ever checked them for tickets. That 1 pack got me into so many concerts back when I lived there that it was totally worth it. I suppose it would be 99% off per month, but music streaming. Used to be all in on it. Got tired of songs getting replaced by other versions or tracks just mysteriously disappearing from my library because there was a label dispute. I had the single saved to my library, and when the album released, the artist deleted the single. Spotify changing their systems such that vast swaths of my library appeared deleted was the final straw for me. Exported what I could to local, don't ask how as the means to do so no longer works, and said I'm done with streaming, just buying local files from here on out. KFC. I wouldn't serve either the undercooked crap or overcooked rubber to my neighbor's dog. Not worth the gamble. I used to have a 100-mile drive home every weekend. Me and the dog. We stopped every time halfway at a KFC drive-thru. The dog loved it and tried every time to climb over me, out the window to get to the person giving out chicken. Used to have the KFC staff in stitches every time. Hershey's chocolate. What the hell is wrong with you people? I understand people in the US must buy it because they're still in business, but why? I'd rather drink a cup of tea made from hot dog water than Hershey's. Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more stories.